most women don't fail when it comes to fat loss because they lack discipline or lack consistency. It's the fact that they're not focusing on building better habits that are meant to last a lifetime. Especially if you work long shifts, or maybe you're a wife and mom, or maybe you're just super busy during the day. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 habits that I teach my clients to help them lose body fat, build muscle without starving themselves, without cutting out their favorite foods, or without being in the gym 6 to 7 days a week. I'll show you how not doing these habits are keeping you stuck and what actions you need to take to start seeing progress again, because these are the habits that make fat loss feel easy, but most importantly, sustainable. So with the first habit, this is super underrated, is focusing on eating slowly and eating until you're 80% full, not 100% full. If you notice after every meal, you're super stuffed to the point where now you have the itis and now you feel like you have to take a nap and you're super lazy, you don't want to get up, that's a problem. Food is meant to fuel your body and give your body energy. Most women aren't realizing how quickly they're eating. If you eat while you're scrolling on your phone mindlessly on TikTok or while you're watching a show, you're not going to realize how quickly you're going to end up eating your meal because you're not going to be giving your body and your brain enough time to catch up to let you know when you're full. And then you're going to end up rushing through your meals and not realizing how fast you ate, and you're going to feel overly stuffed and bloated. You see, the problem with this is that when you eat too quickly, you end up eating past the point of satisfaction to the point where your body can't even register it. One of the biggest habits that I teach my clients is focusing on eating until you're on an 8 out of 10 full or 80% full and not overly stuffed. So being mindful and actually practicing this, really focusing on sitting down, eating your meal with limited distractions, can help manage portions, can help manage overeating, and in turn make staying in a calorie deficit easier. You don't need to leave the table starving, but you also don't need to leave the table feeling uncomfortable after every meal. Habit number 2 is super important, and this is setting boundaries. Another thing that's keeping you stuck is that you have 0 boundaries around your time or your energy. And then what's going to happen? You're going to end up pouring all of that into other people to the point where you have nothing left to give yourself. You constantly put everyone else first to the point where you have no choice but to put yourself last because you don't set proper boundaries. You know, your coworkers wants to go grab a drink after work and they invite you knowing that you need to be limiting your alcohol intake anyway. Or maybe your family wants to order dinner every night. Or maybe somebody just always wants something from you. Always giving into these things is going to leave yourself exhausted by the end of the day, and you're going to have nothing left to give. And then you're going to blame yourself because you're going to tell yourself that you lack discipline, you can't stay consistent, but the truth is that you lack boundaries. Sometimes this is going to look like saying no more than you say yes. This is also going to look like treating your gym appointments like a doctor's appointment. Or simply just bringing your own meals to work and saying no and letting that be the standard when people tend to offer you the unhealthy foods. You need to care about your goals more than you care about saying yes to other people or being a yes woman, because guess what? Do you think people feel bad when you give all your time and attention and energy to them to the point where you have nothing left to give to yourself? They don't. So if your environment and people around you is constantly pulling you away from your goals, motivation alone is never going to be enough. So the third habit you really want to start practicing to make fat loss feel easy is have 3 to 4 meals on rotation. So 3 to 4 meals for breakfast, 3 to 4 meals for lunch, and 3 to 4 meals for dinner. This is by far one of the easiest ways to remove the decision fatigue and prevent yourself from burning out, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. A lot of women tend to overcomplicate nutrition and their meals because they see these fancy meals on social media with parsley sprinkled on top and it looks super aesthetically pleasing. But let me just say this, simplicity matters more than the aesthetics. You don't need a completely different meal every single day. You just need consistency with the right meals. When you already know what's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, not only are you going to remove the decision fatigue, but you're also going to allow yourself to eat the right amount of food to actually fuel your body the right way, because you already know how to portion out the meal. You already know how much to measure because you've already gotten so used to doing it. Especially if you work long shifts or you're super busy, you don't want to spend every hour or each day deciding what to eat or cooking a new meal. So having meals that you actually enjoy and can realistically repeat is what's going to make fat loss easier, and staying consistent realistic. So things like your go-to yogurt bowls, or maybe your go-to egg scrambles, or salmon and veggies, for example. It's going to help you hit your protein goals, it's going to help you hit your fiber goals, and it's going to help you build muscle and lose body fat without stressing out every meal. And the beautiful thing about this is that the meals will still taste good, and you don't have to continuously track your calories because you know exactly what to portion out and what the macros and the calories are going to look like. Habit number 4 is making sure that you plate your food the right way. Another huge thing that keeps women hungry and stuck all day is that they're plating their meals the wrong way. In fact, they're actually plating it backwards. They're plating their meals with mostly carbs, mostly pasta, mostly rice, and then they'll have a small portion of veggies and protein on the side, when in fact, we actually need to flip that. If you plate majority of your meals with your protein and your veggies first and then plate your carbs last, you're naturally going to end up eating less because you're going to feel so full and stuffed from all the protein and the veggies to the point where you might not even need as many carbs as you typically thought you would. Culture also does play a role. If you're Caribbean or Hispanic, naturally we end up plating rice first, but not only that, the entire plate is going to be filled with rice, and then we're going to have a tiny portion of protein and then the tiniest portion of veggies. This by far will keep you stuck because this is going to digest very quickly. You're going to be hungry 2 hours after eating. And not only that, you're going to be consuming mostly carbs from the meal. So instead, you want to start plating your protein and your veggies first to help keep you full and satisfied, and that you naturally end up eating less calories within the meal. So protein is priority, and then add fruits and vegetables to add volume to the meal to help keep you fuller for longer. Then you want to properly portion out your carbs in a way that's supportive of your energy and your goals specifically, not plating the entire meal with carbs first. So if you naturally grew up with eating a lot of rice within your meal or plating your rice first, it's time to reinvent the wheel. Now, I know it might be a challenge at first, especially if you've gotten used to it or you've been growing up around it, but a balanced plate with controlled portions is going to help manage and stabilize your hunger more than eating tiny portions will. Now, let's dive into habit number 5, and this is working out to get stronger, not working out to burn calories. Another mistake that I see a lot of women make is that they're going into the gym to get a good sweat and to burn as many calories as they possibly can on the treadmill instead of focusing on getting into the gym to get stronger and build more muscle. A lot of women get into this cycle of trying to earn their calories from their workout or trying to track how many calories they burn on their Apple Watch, or even trying to earn the food that they're going to eat later on at night by increasing the amount of calories that they burn within a session. This is going to end up backfiring because you're going to be exhausted, you're going to feel drained, and it's going to lead to you being inconsistent. The goal of training in the gym is to build strength, to build muscle, improve your performance, and just overall health and longevity, not just simply burning calories. Muscle is what's going to help give your body shape and definition. It's what's going to help boost your metabolism because you're going to be burning more calories at rest. It's also what's going to help you age better and stay independent as you get older. And as a nurse, I've seen this firsthand what happens when you don't prioritize strength training and you don't prioritize building strength and muscle in the gym. Your workout should help you build muscle, not just burn calories. The future woman that you see for yourself should be someone who shows up in the gym trying to improve the sessions compared to how she did previously before, and not just trying to break a sweat. So let's dive into habit number 6, and this is having a step goal greater than 10K. Another habit that's super underrated and massively important when it comes to fat loss is simply just moving more throughout the day. And I'm not talking about moving while you're in the gym. I'm also talking about movement outside of the gym, because there's a difference between being active in the gym and living an active lifestyle. If you're in the gym for an hour, hour and a half, being active, great. But if you're sedentary the rest of the day, then that doesn't really do much for you. That's why having a daily step goal can make such a difference. And I'm not talking about hitting 10,000 steps because, to be quite honest with you, that's the bare minimum. Most women on average nowadays are hitting 3,000 to 4,000 steps, which is super low. Now, if that's your typical standard and baseline and you jump up to 10K and you're able to hit that, then that's great because that's a massive shift. But why not set the standard a little bit higher for yourself? Walking is low stress and is super easy to recover from compared to running on the treadmill, because running on the treadmill is going to burn through your glycogen, and then what's going to happen is it's going to leave you feeling super hungry to the point where willpower isn't even a thing, because hunger is going to always win. So you can burn 500, 600 calories within a cardio session, but you can eat that right back in 30 seconds. So walking and setting a daily step goal is super important if your goal is to lose body fat and more so sustain it in the long run and just overall live a healthier, active lifestyle. This is also going to increase your calorie expenditure, so how many calories that you're burning without completely draining you out or without you having to try as hard, because you walk naturally throughout the day anyway. Some ways you can increase your walking or increase your daily steps above 10,000 is parking in a parking lot that's further away from the entrance, or dedicating 30 minutes from your hour lunch break to walking after you eat your meal. Or maybe this is going to look like waking up 20 to 25 minutes earlier so that you can walk for 15 minutes on your walking pad before you start your day. And if you want to take it a step further, getting one of those portable desks and walking pads at home, if you work from home, you can set it to around a low speed where you're still able to type, where you're still able to hold a conversation. And then the next thing you know, once you start to implement this, your steps by the end of the day is going to be greater than 10,000 without having you trying as hard. Sometimes you don't need another hard workout. You just need to consistently move your body more. So our last and seventh habit is to not restrict your favorite foods, but focus on making better swaps. A lot of women, when they're trying to lose weight, end up cutting out the foods that they love. So no carbs, no dessert, no snacks, or no going out to eat. And then what's going to happen is you're going to rebound and this is going to backfire because no one can realistically sustain that forever. Not even myself. In fact, I actually had ice cream last night. Restriction usually creates stronger cravings later on, and then you're going to end up overeating and over binging, and then you're going to blame yourself and tell yourself that you lack discipline and you lack willpower. Instead of just trying to eat perfectly all the time, instead focus on making better choices consistently. 10% better each day. So maybe this is going to look like finding higher protein options or lower calorie options so that you can still enjoy the foods that you love. So for example, this might look like going for a Halo Top vanilla ice cream that only has 90 calories per serving instead of going for a Ben & Jerry's vanilla ice cream that probably has triple the amount of calories per serving. Going for plain non-fat Greek yogurt as a sour cream substitute when you're making Chipotle bowls at home instead of using traditional sour cream that can save you a ton of calories. You get the same creaminess from the plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Not only that, it's lower calorie and more protein. No restrictions, just better options. Another example is going for butter flavored rice cakes while you're watching a movie instead of snacking on popcorn that's probably drenched in butter. And lastly, maybe this is going to look like going for a high sugar fruit such as pineapple or mango when you're craving something sweet instead of turning to cake or cookies. Another thing you can focus on and start to implement is air frying your food as your standard way of cooking instead of cooking your food on the stovetop with heavy amounts of oil. And most importantly, consistently adjusting your portions, because sustainable fat loss doesn't come from restricting yourself. It actually comes from building better and healthier habits that you can sustain long term. Now, these habits work so well because they're very practical. If you're someone who struggles with implementing these 7 habits, I don't recommend to just jump and starting to do all 7 of them right away. That's exactly how you're going to burn yourself out and then feel discouraged. What I recommend doing is take one habit that you feel like you struggle with the most or that you feel like is the hardest for you to commit to, and try your hardest to hold yourself accountable to practicing it every single day for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Track how consistent you are with each habit and try to stay consistent with it for at least 6 out of 7 days a week. And once you're able to do that for 2 to 3 weeks straight, then add on another habit and keep continuing the process over and over and over until you feel like you're consistent with all 7 habits. Make sure that you have all 7 of these habits locked in, and then what you're going to notice is that you're not going to feel as hungry when it comes to eating. You won't feel restricted during your fat loss journey. And most importantly, you're going to build muscle, lose body fat, and keep it off. These are the exact habits that I follow myself and as well as my clients who are able to build muscle and lose body fat. Because sustainable fat loss isn't about following the perfect meal plan or doing some extreme challenge for 30 days. It's about building better habits and most importantly, sustainable habits when life gets busy and stressful and chaotic. That's exactly when my clients are able to get results like this while still traveling, while working busy schedules, while eating the foods that they love, and while living real life. We focus on building systems and better habits that you can realistically stick to, because once you do that, that's when your body truly starts to change. Now, if you want to see my full 5-step system on how my clients are getting results like this through one-on-one coaching with proper nutrition, proper training, right accountability, and the right support, I'm going to link a video to this video that's going to walk you through the entire system. Once this video ends, make sure you go watch that one next, because I'll show you exactly how I help women lose body fat, build muscle, and actually create habits that are meant to last a lifetime. All right, that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you in the next one.